Hello everybody, and welcome back once again to Let's Play Tyranny. Okay, so this is the first recording on my new computer. I've got everything set up as I think it should be. So if you're seeing this, everything went well. And if you're not seeing this, well, you won't know. So, but I am going to be uploading this into my sort of test 1440p settings. Hopefully there'll be a significant quality increase. But anyway, we'll see how things go. I'm recording this with Shadowplay rather than OBS now, because Shadowplay recordings didn't work very well on my old computer, so I'm hoping they work better with this one. Recording in 130 megabits per second bitrate compared to a 40 megabits per second bitrate that I was recording in before, and I will be uploading in a 60 megabits per second bitrate rather than a 13.5 megabits per second bitrate, which is what I uploaded in before, because that was the only codec I can use on my computer without it crashing on me. So that means that this should be a pretty significant upgrading quality, whether you're watching in 1440p or even watching in 1080p. The difference should be noticeable, as much as is possible in this game, because it's not exactly a first-person shooter where you would notice such things much more easily. But anyway, I'm going to keep this session relatively short, because it is a test, so 30 minutes there or thereabouts. So we can't really afford to waste too much time blathering, so let's crack on. Now, I've noticed since the last session that these footprints are actually also important locations. So Siren's Sanctuary is here. There is Eldian's house that I was looking out for before. And there's Vintara, whom we're next to now. Also here is Lethian's mistress. So we may well have a quick dip in there to see what's going on. So there's a few little locations to explore, which will probably take us about half an hour. And then in the next session, we dive in to the old walls themselves. But without further ado, let's change the options, because this game has now been freshly installed on my computer and everything has reset apparently. Hellfire and Brimstone. Even the auto pausing will have. I'll kind of do this off camera. We won't be in battle today, I wouldn't have thought, but at the very least I want to kind of have my scroll speed a little bit faster than that, thank you. If you don't mind. It's better. Still not perfect, but it's better. Right, here we go.
Yes.
Vintara. Good day to you, Fatebinder. The soldier gives you a brief salute. She then stands at attention. My name is Vintara. Welcome to Lethian's Crossing. Commander, it's been a while since I took leave at the crossing. Glad to see you have everything in order. Barrick, I haven't seen you since the March and Stalwart. It seems you've done well for yourself since then. What happened to you out there? Oh, I picked up some extra baggage along the way. Nothing I can't handle. Well, you look a mess. First chance you get, I want to see you in proper uniform. Understood? Oh dear. You made some tough calls the last time you were here. None of us were happy when you put forge-bound iron in the hands of Chorus soldiers. But the sight of you publicly flogging their commander after she tried to bribe you raised our morale for several span. More than a fair trade. What can I help you with? Calvina asking for some information here about what's happening in Lethian's Crossing. Our current orders are to garrison Lethian's Crossing. We are to secure the safety of the Forge-bound, the sanctity of Kairos' laws, and the well-being of the settlers. And we're dealing with a gang of Free Cities mercenaries we need to club back to setting sun. Well, that's not the official order, but you get the idea. There is a small matter of a thief in town, but I will not bother you with such trifles right now. I'm sure my soldiers can handle it. Well, that was short and sweet, wasn't it? Calvina stating that she must be going. Travel well, Fatebinder. Is that it? Okay. Well, while we're here, let's go speak with Old Man Eldian. I feel like we've been cut short there somehow. I've got a feeling we'll be speaking with her again at some point, but that was a little bit underwhelming to say the least. An outsider never arrives alone. At least that is what my mother always said. She knew what she was talking about. I'm Eldian. Welcome to Lethian's Crossing. Well, if it isn't Tudor's Fatebinder, welcome back to the Crossing. Haven't seen you around here since you put the disfavoured in charge of everything. Must say, my memory seems to be failing. Something I've never thought I'd say. The way people talk about how you came through and drove the Brotherhood out of town. You should be 10 feet tall, shoot lightning from your eyes. I seem to remember you being a little more human. Can't always tell the content of a pie from its crust, can you? Thankfully, the disfavoured haven't been too bad. At least you didn't choose the Scarlet Chorus to be our overlords. But enough of my prattling. You didn't come here for a history lesson or to get my opinion of your grandeur. The Adjudicator sent you for the Archon of Song, I assume? What can this old fool do for you? Yes. Archon of Song? She's here? Siren? The songbird? Feels like it's half the town she's got mooning over her in that hovel near the river. It's on the first tier, if you want to find her. Feel free to take her with you when you go. But seeing as you're not here for her, what can I do for you? Okay, we've got some questions, not necessarily about the Lethian's Crossing, but perhaps the state of affairs. If you have questions about our settlement, I am the one to ask. I have the dubious distinction of being the oldest living resident of Lethian's Crossing, so I've been here for a lot of its history. Eyes, hips, hair, and hearing might all be failing, but my mind still remembers everything that happened here. What would you like to know about? I'll do my best not to go on too long about it. I know I have a problem keeping my conversations short. Okay, so given that his conversations are not going to be short, Calvina really doesn't want to be engaging in too much conversation here, but there are two things that she does want to ask. First of all, she wants confirmation about the spire here, information about this spire. That's why she's come here in the first place. If he's been here for some time, perhaps he will know something about it. There's no getting used to it. You'd think that after years of living under its shadow that your nerves would calm, but that never happened for me. You can only be so relaxed when your neighbours are the bane. The moment you let your guard down around one of those old walls, my friend, you are done for. Now, Lethian wasn't completely mad to settle here, but she ventured inside and found sealed passageways that made it impossible to wander too far beyond the entrance. She figured that meant that the Bane couldn't easily reach us either. Whoever created this monstrosity wanted us to stay out, and that's exactly what we've done. It hasn't been a perfect arrangement. There have been incidents. But for the most part, the Bane don't venture out so long as you don't venture in. We just have to be vigilant every day. Not that Calvina should need to ask for permission, but she will extend a courtesy to this old man and show some respect. If he says no, well, we'll be going in anyway. Must you enter? Surely there's another... nobody will stop you, Fatebinder, if that's what you mean. If you have business inside, I can only assume that it must be an important matter. The old walls are unpredictable, plain and simple. The Bane may leave you be today, but I am not the sort to gamble when it comes to those abominations. Okay, so that's you can enter then, so that's fine. And we are kind of intrigued about the Bronze Brotherhood, simply to get a feel for things, maybe an idea as to where their two, well, the leader and the second in command have scarpered off to after our confrontation outside, before we arrived here. They were here before, since the crossing was founded. Lethian herself hired them to protect the settlement when it was just getting started, a fledgling town in the shadow of the old walls. They did such a good job, she kept them on as our peacekeepers, and that's how things went. At least until you decided to oust them and put someone else in their place. Can't say I wouldn't have done the same, truth be told. Taking pay from two employers is always going to end badly if you can't make both of them happy. On top of that, it seems lately that Ray Tommen is travelling a path no one can see, and I don't want to see what's at the end of it. Okay. We're going to question about his interactions with the Scarlet Chorus, if only to dig the dirt on them. I can't say that I have a strong opinion, one way or the other, really. They didn't seem to care much about leaving the settlement behind. Once the decision was made to let the disfavoured have control, they left, and I haven't seen much of them since. Okay, I mean, we could also ask about the disfavoured. If we're doing this completely down the line and impartial, then if we're going to try and dig some dirt on the Scarlet Chorus, then we should really dig some dirt on the disfavoured. Yes, strict curfews, frequent searches, and no forgiveness for missed iron and grain quotas. That's the ill of it. But the sentries keep constant vigil and treat us with respect. Politeness even. Most of them call me elder and bow. If someone's going fishing in your pocket and taking your crops, may as well be kind about it. The disfavoured are committed to honour and dignity in all dealings. That's so. I've seen the disfavoured impale a man for insulting your precious graven ash. I've seen them hang prisoners for eating rats when their food ran low. At least the Scarlet Chorus doesn't have any delusion about cruelty. We do it because it's fun. Honour goes both ways, you balding witch. Those who flaunt the offerings of Kairos' peace find no solace in the Legion. It's definitely not the situation I would have chosen, but things can always be worse. The water might be up to your knees, but it could also be up to your nose, is what my grandmother would tell me. Okay. Earthshaker mages? What, have they been here? A few have passed through the crossing in recent times, all headed south to the Stone Sea. At least that's the word of it. The mages didn't stay for long. And I'm glad they kept on travelling. If some madman casts a spell that cracked the foundation of the old walls, praise Kairos, it hasn't happened. Okay, and checking in on the Forge bound, making sure everything's all right with those. Ah, They toil away in their forge houses day in, night out. Kairos' forces keep them well guarded since they know how to work binding ore into weapons harder than stone or bronze. I've delivered food and kindling to the forge houses, but never had much contact with the artisan mages. Okay, we've got enough information here. So one thing of interest, siren here in the Lethian's Crossing. So, now that we've been given firm confirmation of her presence here, we shall go and check it out. So that is right here.
I got it.
Literally round the corner. How handy. And indeed, there she is. Our second meeting with an Archon of song here. Okay, so she stands here surrounded by a group of villagers. She speaks to them in soft dulcet tones, holding them hypnotized with her hand motions. Her headdress flashes as she speaks, and you are unable to tell if it's a trick of the light or the gem that's glowing within it. She is swept up in her oration and seems completely unaware you've arrived. There is a lull in her conversation and she opens her eyes.
Well, look who's here. And what brings you to Lethian's Crossing? Can't imagine it's the scenery or the quaint locals. Have you come to spoil my fun? Tunon probably insisted you find me, didn't he? Because we can't let Siren have any fun, can we? Let's control her. Let's tell her what she can and can't do. Let's use her to destroy nations. But enough of that talk. What do you think of my followers?
She makes a motion over the group gathered at her feet. As she speaks, you feel a peaceful serenity washing over you. The crowd calms and breathing becomes easier. Yeah. I think Calvina knows manipulation when she sees it.
Don't worry, Fatebinder. I'm just practicing.
While her words and tone convey a careless air, the peace you are feeling tightens in your brain, and a couple of the gathered crowd slowly turn their heads to look at you.
Besides, who doesn't love having a legion of adoring lackeys? Are you going to disband this group too?
Oh dear. So she seems, yeah, she's obviously brainwashing, manipulating here. She does seem a little bit out of control to Calvina, to be quite honest with you. I thought they were going to be quite so forthright as that, but yeah, telling her to control herself here.
Ugh, not this again. All anyone wants is for me to control myself. Why doesn't anyone want me to let loose? I know. You don't have to answer. That was a joke. I have a little more self-control than that. But maybe you're right. Perhaps if you were to allow me to accompany you. You did activate one of the spires, so your power is something I could learn from. You'd be able to teach me how to control myself.
Okay, so here is an opportunity to bring her into the fold. This is an interesting one because she's very young. She's obviously perhaps a little bit out of control. She's got a bit of a dangerous edge to her. This mind manipulation. So there's two tacks that there's two tacks to this. The first one is that Calvina is not going to take any chances having her in the party. She's a complete and utter liability. She could really cause some concern if she continues to be out of control. bring a bad name upon us, and could also try to manipulate her. Although she's rebuffed that once, and Calvina is quite confident that she wouldn't fall for it. Certainly not, but it is a risk. On the other hand, she was a guild master, and therefore teaching and guiding is in her blood, was her former profession, and teaching and guiding an Archon, no less, could be quite an accomplishment. And having an Archon in the party, well, it just raises the old prestige level, if you will. So although it is a bit of a risk, it's something that she's going to she's going to do. Her profession, her former sort of teaching ways, and her vocation in guiding those under her wing coming to the fore here, and kind of overriding her sort of trepidation. Telling Sirin, actually as she's pronounced, that she may join the party.
Well then, let's go. If you're going to teach me the wonders of the world, it's not going to happen here.
Wow, and just like that, she's actually in. Now, I believe she's a bard type character, very similar to, I think it was maybe Kana in the Pillars of Eternity game. So we might actually bring her into the fold at some point, but for the time being, she shall sit in the roster. Oh, that was straightforward enough. I was expecting a bit more of a hullabaloo, but hey ho, we're not going to complain.
Yes.
Hopefully the little minions will go back about their business when her effects wear off. Okay, so we have visited Forge-bound Merchant, the Forge, Eldian's house, Vintara. So the last place is Levian's Mistress as a potential place to visit. So we'll go visit there, and then once we're done in there, we shall then head to the old walls. Let me just check something out here. We can cap the frame rate. I'm going to cap it. I'm going to cap it to 105 frames. Can you apply that? That'll do. Mistress Sophia. What a pleasure it is to see you in my establishment, Fatebinder. It is always an honour to entertain someone of your standing at Levian's Mistress. If you have need of entertainment or company for a short time, then we look forward to fulfilling those needs. How may I and my entertainers be of service to you? Okay, so this is a brothel, basically. And, well, Calvin is certainly not going to partake in any of those practices. How much do you charge to partake in the entertainment? Yeah, perhaps another time. Calvina is certainly not one to be getting involved in this kind of thing. Well, that's not actually helped much, so let's put that back to what it was. Oh, balderdash, I'll do it off camera. Sort the settings out. I don't know if he's a tiny, tiny stutter. Well, that's it. I don't know how long we've been going for because I don't have a timer on. When I used the way I used to record, I used voice recorder to record my commentary, whereas with Shadow Play you can record the commentary and the video at the same time, which is a hell of a lot easier. But it means that I don't have my timer on, so I don't know how long we've been going for. But it doesn't feel like we've been going for longer than half an hour very much, so we shall end the session at the Old Walls. Shorter session, of course, but as I said, this is a bit of a tester for the old new computer, testing the Shadow Play recording, testing the Sony Vegas settings, and how long it takes to render that video, and also how long it will take to upload the video as well. So, yeah, trial run indeed, but all exciting times. So for anyone interested that's watching this that may be wondering what's going to happen next week, I'm away this weekend, so I'll try and get another couple of these videos recorded tomorrow for the weekend while I'm away. And then next week the fun and games start, because we'll be starting the Rome Total War campaign. We'll also be starting Mass Effect Legendary Edition on next Friday. We'll be streaming that. A new Sunday stream will be occurring next Sunday. So yeah, we're going to be starting in earnest, back up to full pace now that the computer is here, safe and well. But anyway, thank you for watching this one, and I shall see you again in the next one, where we shall enter. Get myself straight here. Enter the Old Walls to continue our search for this spire. Until then, I will see you soon. Bye for now.